Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's learn computer science.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's session, we'll learn about fetch, decode, execute cycle and register transfer notation for the same. In our previous videos, we learned about the different registers present inside the processor and also discussed the role of buses. But have you ever wondered how the CPU actually executes a program? How does the CPU know which instruction to execute first? How does it fetch instructions from memory? And how does it process millions or even billions of instructions every second? Well, the answer lies in something called fetch, decode, execute cycle. By the end of this video, you'll be able to understand all the stages of the fetch, decode, execute cycle, the role of important registers in fetch, decode, execute cycle, and register transfer notation. So let's get started. First of all, what is fetch, decode, execute cycle? Now, every program that we run, whether it is a web browser or game or even a simple calculator, consists of a sequence of instructions stored in memory. CPU cannot execute all instructions at once. Instead, it processes them one instruction at a time by repeatedly performing three stages: fetch, decode, and execute. Once one instruction is completed, the CPU moves on to the next instruction and repeats the same process again and again. The cycle continues until all instructions in the program have been processed. Right? Just have a look at the flow chart. So CPU checks if there are any instructions, fetches the next instruction, decodes it, then executes the instruction. Then if there are any interrupts, they are processed. Again, cycle goes back, next instruction, fetches, decode, and then execute. And this cycle continues, right? Now, these are the registers which are used in fetch, decode, execute cycle. Let's quickly revise the registers involved in this. First of all, program counter. So we have learned about this in my previous video where we learned about registers. You can watch that video to revise, or just a brief about each one of these registers. That program counter, it stores the address of the next instruction to be fetched. It is updated after every fetch operation. Then we have memory address register. It stores the address of the memory location that is to be accessed, and it sends the address to memory through the address bus. Then we have memory data register, MDR. It stores data or instructions being transferred to or from memory. It acts as a temporary holding area during data transfer. Then we also have current instruction register. It stores the instruction currently being processed by the CPU. And the control unit decodes the instruction stored in CIR, which is current instruction register. So each one of these registers, they play a major role during fetch, decode, execute cycle. Let's understand how. As we know that first stage is fetch. CPU retrieves the next instruction from main memory. So first of all, CPU checks whether there are any instructions left to execute. If there are no instructions, program execution stops. And if instructions are available, the cycle begins, right? Now, program counter. As we all know, the program counter, first thing is that we need to understand what is the role of program counter. Now, program counter already contains the address of the next instruction to be executed, right? For example, suppose the PC contains the value 250. This means that the next instruction is stored at memory location 250. Now, once we know the address of the next instruction to be executed, now this address from program counter is copied to MAR. So this address is copied from the PC to the memory address register using the address bus. Okay. Now, the contents at the memory location contained in MAR then copied into the memory data register. Now, why there are double brackets? We will learn about this, and why there are single brackets? We will learn the difference in some time. As of now, you just understand whatever the steps are involved. Okay? And then the contents of the MDR copied and placed into the current instruction register. This one. So, PC, whatever it has per program counter, those contents go into MAR. Now, whatever MAR contains, that is the memory address. So whatever content are available at that memory address, they go into MDR. And whatever is there in MDR, that instruction goes into current instruction register. Okay. And while all this is being done, value of PC is incremented by 1 so that it now points to the next instruction which has to be fetched. Okay, this one. And this is, all these steps are part of fetching. So step 1, as we said, it is fetching the instruction. And while fetching the instruction, all this is happening. Once the instruction is fetched, all the registers, their values are updated. Now the instruction is decoded. So stage 2 is decoding. Now the instruction is decoded. The control unit examines the instructions stored in the CIR, and then final step is to execute the instruction. Okay. During decoding, the instruction is interpreted, the operation required is identified, control signals are generated, required hardware components are activated, and during execution, it may involve arithmetic calculations, logical operations, data transfer, input operations, output operations, branching and jump instructions, etc., etc. So, fetch, then decode, and then execute. And then cycle continues. Then if once the execution of one instruction is over, then computer checks if there are any interrupts, they are handled, and then it is checked if there are any instructions left, and the cycle continues. That's fetch, decode, execute cycle. All right. Now let's have a look at register transfer notation. Now this one, whatever we have written here, this is written using register transfer notation. As I said that we'll learn why there is single bracket, why there is double bracket, what is the meaning of this semicolon, what is the meaning of this arrow. All this we are going to now understand. Okay. In examinations, you are often asked to represent the fetch, decode, execute cycle using register transfer notation. Most of the questions are based on this. So please understand this very carefully. RTN is simply a shorthand method, basically used to show the movement of data between the registers. All right, let's understand the symbols. Now, first one is arrow. Now, this arrow means transfer data to or copy data into. So copy this particular instruction. This means whatever the contents of program counter, they are copied to MAR. That's the meaning of arrow. Copy the contents of PC into the MAR. So whatever is on the right hand side, that is copied to whatever register is written on the left hand side. Right? Next is single brackets. Now, single brackets means contents of a register. So whatever the content are stored in a particular register, whatever is written inside the single bracket, contents of that. So it refers to the value currently stored in the program counter here. All right. Now let's understand about double brackets. Now, double brackets means contents of the memory location whose address is stored in the register. So here, let's understand this. Here, it is written MAR in double brackets. This means MAR is having some address, and double bracket refers to the data stored at the address of this register. We are not directly accessing the content which is stored in MAR. Instead, we are going to the address that MAR holds, and then we are accessing the data at that particular memory location. So, copy the data instruction stored at the memory address held in MAR onto MDR. Right? Rest, these are just simple symbols. Plus is arithmetic addition. This means simultaneous operations are happening, and equal to signs means represents a value stored in a register. So these are not exactly part of RTN, but you should understand because they are used in this. Major role is played by these three symbols. So just remember these, okay? Now I have also explained here again why are double brackets used, because sometimes we do have questions based on this in past papers. So whenever they ask why are double brackets used, or if you have a question which is tweaked in order to understand your knowledge about this, so you may write double brackets are used because it is not MAR content being copied into MDR, but it is the data stored at the address shown in MAR that is being copied to MDR. Okay, so I have explained this with the help of an example also. Suppose MAR is having 250. So that means 250 is the memory location. And at 250, let's say we have this instruction saved. Now, if this is the RTN, that means MAR is written in double brackets and MDR is getting whatever is stored here. So that means there is an address MAR, and then there is an instruction stored at that address. We are putting that content to MDR, which is stored at the location saved in MAR. Correct? So MAR contains address, CPU accesses that address, which is 250, and then that instruction which is stored at 250 is copied into MDR. Right? Now that's complete fetch stage in RTN. MAR gets whatever is there in PC. PC's value is incremented. MDR gets whatever is at the location specified by MAR, and then MAR's content is loaded to CIR. In summary, sometimes they do ask question about complete fetch decode execute cycle. So you may write all these pointers. PC contains the address of the next instruction. Address is copied from PC to MAR. Instruction stored at the memory location in MAR is copied to MDR. Instruction is copied from MDR to CIR. PC is incremented by 1. Instruction is decoded and executed. CPU checks for interrupts. If an interrupt exists, it is serviced, and the cycle repeats for the next instruction. So this is the whole summary. Now let's have a look at some past paper questions. First one is, the following complete table contains steps of the fetch, decode, execute cycle and their descriptions. Complete the table by writing the missing steps using register transfer notation and the missing descriptions. Now, first step, the address in PC is incremented. So you just have learned that what is the register transfer notation for each step in fetch, decode, execute cycle. So first one is PC is incremented. So that is PC is equals to PC plus 1. But remember the single brackets around PC, right? So here you will write that. Here you have to write what is meaning of this RTN, MDR getting the contents saved at the memory location specified by MAR. So you will not write the contents of MAR, instead the contents which are specified by the location stored in MAR, right? Here MAR is equals to PC, so PC program counter's content is loaded into MAR, and here the contents of MDR are copied into CIR, so CIR is equals to MDR in single bracket, right? So that's the marking scheme. This is what we have just covered. Next question is, write the register transfer notation of each of the stages in the fetch execute cycle described in the table. So we have just learned this. So same question, almost same question. Copy the address of the next instruction into the memory address register, increment the program counter, copy the contents of the memory data register into the current instruction register. So pause the video, write your answer, and then match it with the marking scheme. I'm just showing you marking scheme. So that's the marking scheme. If you get all correct, give yourself 3 marks. So that's all for today. Today we have learned about fetch, decode, execute cycle. In next video, we'll learn about interrupts, how interrupts are handled. Till then, take care and bye-bye. See you in the next video.